Now, we've been banging the acquired Josh Rosen no matter what drum for a while now. Maybe it's because we're hashtag never Manioners, or Nate Stanley ain't it yet, or Jake Browning ain't it yet, may never will be. But trade a fifth-round pick for Josh Rosen. Now, I understand. Go to the Dolphins. Chris Greer is like, hey, it's Rick Spielman. I used to work for the Dolphins. I'm going to lowball you. Seventh-round pick. Whatever. But either way, my top price, bottom line, fifth-round pick. Let's just do this. Please, can we just do this and stop the shenanigans? Can we stop pretending that Sean Mannion is actually a viable NFL backup? And also, I feel like enough turd has been tossed on the polish of Josh Rosen that Kirky Cousins, God King, the de facto GM, won't be like, he's a threat. You know, the chosen Rosen is not a threat to Kirk Cousins. Shoot. By the way, if the Vikings can just light a fifth-round pick on fire for a kicker punter who is neither good at kicking nor punting, I mean, you can do this for a backup quarterback, can't you? Golly. But Josh Rosen, third-year former first-round pick who's been passed around the league like so many doobies. Let's get in on all that today. So background, 6'4", 220. Was the numero uno pro-style quarterback recruit in the 2015 class coming in out of high school. Freshman All-American UCLA 2015. And yeah, this was the hype. Like, he was the OG original Trevor Lawrence of the guy who came in as a true freshman, started right away in Westwood. And it was like, oh, he's going to be the guy, multiple Heismans, maybe bring a national championship to UCLA, number one overall pick, all this, all that. Never really panned out. Like, it's something about him and Jim Mora. It's something about him and the offense. Just like never really clicked where everything was good to go. But 2017 was second team All Pac-12 behind Sam Darnold. So he did fine, but he never truly lived up to the hype. You know, it's like it's like you have a movie that has like a year build up, like maybe Avengers Endgame to you guys, where it's like, oh, or maybe the Game of Thrones finale. There you go. To all the nerds out there, I wish I was passionate about something as much as people are passionate about Game of Thrones. I really do. I'm really envious. But Josh Rosen was like the Game of Thrones finale, where all the hype, all the build, all this, all that, and it's kind of like, okay, Bram, sure, yeah, that's what about that. That's basically what it was, right? And also, remember, the knock on him in the draft process was like, ooh, he thinks for himself. Ooh, he questions things. Ooh, he has interests outside of football. It was the whole boomer versus millennial just coming together in the draft process. That was Josh Rosen, right? But still went 10 overall. Cardinals traded up to get him in the 2018 draft. And then rookie year in Arizona, only year in Arizona, not great. 3-10 as a starter, throwing for 2,278 yards, 11 touchdowns, 14 picks, 67.7 quarterback range. Just not great overall, right? But also factor in that he was pressured on 40.4% of his dropbacks. Fifth most in the NFL. Now, for a frame of reference, Kirk Cousins, remember we talked about how shelled he was in 2018. He was the seventh most pressured, good at English, quarterback in the NFL at 38.9% of his dropbacks. So just imagine the pressure that Kirk Cousins was under in 2018. Like literal pressure, not the contract pressure. But imagine you're that as a rookie in the NFL. Great. Yeah, good. And that was the 1 year of Steve Wilkes and Mike McCoy. Mike McCoy is honestly one of the worst offense coordinators in NFL history. And then Arizona made a coaching change when they secured the number one overall pick. Took Kyler, punted on Rosen. Miami gave up a second and a fifth rounder. Woo. There you go. Started 3 games for the Dolphins in 2019. Again, sort of a cut and paste job of what he had in Arizona. Bad O-line, who just got rid of Tunsil and Juwan James. Like, hey, Josh Rosen, come on in. We just got rid of our bookend tackles, but best of luck to you. Good job, buddy. Well, a horrible OC, threw for 567 yards, 1 touchdown, 5 picks, 52 quarterback rating, 5.2 yards per attempt. Just not great. 0-3 as a starter, and was just atrocious. But respect. Fitzmagic came in and it did work. I mean, the Dolphins were actually good. They were spunky at times, right? But then the Dolphins took Tua number 5 overall, and that's all she wrote. That really is all she wrote for Rosen, because they still have Fitz as a veteran backup quarterback. Tua's the future, so there isn't a seat for the chosen Rosen. But he's still the number 10 overall pick, right? And by all accounts, what was seen as a first-round pick and a high first-round pick, and that was just 2 years ago, right? So that vetting process, that first level of filtering, I mean, that doesn't go away. So honestly, if you go back and look at the notes for the Vikings 2018 draft. Even though they're sitting at 30, I'm sure they had a positive high grade on Josh Rosen. So I don't know why Spielman doesn't, let's do this, right? Arizona was doomed to failure. Horrible O-line. Wilkes is one and done as a coach. Mike McCoy was one of the worst offense coordinators in NFL history, like we just said. And I think that there's still something salvageable, right? This could be a spot where, like, when Jim Plunkett was a number 1 overall pick to the Patriots back in the day, and everyone called him a bust. He was terrible. He did this, he did that, and then he went to the Raiders and won 2 Super Bowls, right? Now, I'm not projecting that on Josh Rosen, but we've seen that time and time again where something just does not work in the first location, then eventually pans out. Or like Alex Smith. Alex Smith, number 1 overall pick, Niners in 2005. Many, many years of just sort of football. Mainly blame the turnover at offensive coordinator. Also, 1 year, his OC was Norv Turner. That'll do it, right? But then you see Alex Smith going elsewhere, and he actually turned out to be a serviceable starter, both in Kansas City and then in Washington before things happen, right? So I think that Josh Rosen, I'm not calling him to be a Pro Bowler. I'm not calling him to be a serviceable everyday starter. I'm calling for him to be a high-end backup, maybe potential to still be a starter in the right situation down the line, right? Because he has amazing footwork, very cerebral and intelligent, hard worker, gets after it, very poised in the pocket despite having 2 garbage O-lines, so maybe he'll fit right in here in Minnesota. He's got decent mobility. It doesn't have a cannon, but a functionally strong arm, decent outside the numbers, a solid accuracy. Does take some risks. You saw that with the interception numbers both in the NFL and at UCLA. He does have a bit of a gunslinger mentality at times, but I like him. I do like him, and frankly, I give him all the credit in the world for the way that he handled the Arizona situation. A lot of 20-something-year-old kids would not have handled that with the maturity and grace that he did. He even joked in his goodbye video to Arizona, "Is like, hey, Kyler, if you need a good condo, I know of one." It's just good, right? So just imagine you're in that spot. You are a 22, 23-year-old kid, and your entire life you had your butt kissed, right? Number 1 overall recruit, UCLA, Westwood, there we go, blah, 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 all that stuff. And then all of a sudden, you're a top 10 NFL pick. You had a down rookie year, which, rookie quarterbacks, sometimes things don't work out their first year, right? And then you get replaced after 1 year, after 13 starts, you get yanked. How would you handle it? I think Rosen handled it, complete aces, and last year Miami's whatever, but also he still has the tools. I'm not ready to give up on a guy after 2 years and 2 terrible situations. Like, honestly, if you're ready to write him off as a bust because of what happened the last 2 seasons, I don't know if I trust you. Like, I trust you as far as I can throw you, right? But trade value. So what would it take to get him? So Vikings already have 10 picks next year, by the way. Rick always gets his 10 picks. You got the standard 7, plus you have 4th rounders from the Bills from the Diggs trade, Bears from the trade up for whatever, 5th rounder from the Ravens as well, plus you're in line for some decent compensatory pick compensation. So offer Miami a 5th. Offer Miami the Ravens 5th and go from there, right? Plus he still has 2 years left on his rookie deal. You do have the 5th-year option if it comes to that. Maybe, maybe not. I mean, if he's a backup, certainly not. But, also, this doesn't necessarily preclude you from still looking for the other quarterback of the future. Like, if Rosen is on the roster, say he's a solid backup QB2, and next year there's still a mid-round quarterback who strikes your fancy, just go after it. So why not? Have him sit behind Cousins for multiple years. And again, when has competition or when has having a decent backup quarterback ever been a bad thing, right? All the rankings and offseason lists have Sean Mannion as one of the worst backup quarterbacks in the league for a reason, right? Because everyone knows it. Because we saw Sean Mannion at Oregon State. We saw him limited times with the Rams. We saw him week 17 against the Bears. We saw him preseason. He is not it. Like, if it comes down to Sean Mannion, Kirk Cousins gets abducted by aliens, Vikings are going 2-14. Maybe. So, 5th round pick for Josh Rosen? Shoot. And also, ask yourself this. Is there going to be a quarterback in the 5th round next year that will have as much intriguing upside as Josh Rosen, the former number 10 overall pick? To me, it's easy. But that's probably why it'll never happen. There you go. But your thoughts, Josh Rosen, let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Pull us up on the Venmo. Plus give us a follow on social media as well. But until next time, Skol, production value.